Is on.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. We're starting the meeting at 7:37, the housing meeting. And I would like to thank everyone for joining me. I hope you had a wonderful summer vacation. And we got some really nice things I would like to do with everyone. And as you know, notice we've combined with the Block Association. So we'll be doing some things with the Block Association committee as well. And let's start off by doing a roll call of who's here. If everyone could say a name for the record, that would be great. Starting with
Yolanda Belcher.
Michelle Rock.
Williams, Deborah Williams,
LaShawn Freeman.
Leonie Logan.
Kim Mormon.
Andrew Lowers.
Can you repeat that, please?
Andrew Lowers.
Thank you. Next, who else is on the line with us?
Rod Herbert with Community Board 9.
Welcome, welcome. And next,
EK Price.
welcome. Next, who's here on the board? Can you say your name?
Can you hear me, Ms. Fields?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. This is Jay Thorid, and I'm part of an organization called Say No to Less. It's a community group that covers CB17 and CB9. And I wanted to ask you, Ms. Fields, if you could turn on your video. The rules say
I'm still getting settled. Just give me a minute. I'm still getting settled because I just ran in the house.
no
And
problem.
give me a minute.
There's an issue with people not turning on the videos, and New York State law says that everybody who is on the committee has to turn on their video so we could see who it is. So if I can ask you, whoever is on the committee, you have to turn on your video. And that's basically New York State law, so people know who their representatives are. And
Thank you.
Fraser,
Let's continue.
you're welcome.
Thank you. Let's continue with introductions first. Did we miss
Sure.
anyone?
I'm on the line.
Okay, and who else? So we have everyone. This LaShawn person. Can you say your name for the record, please?
I said my name before.
Oh, okay.
Freeman?
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. So okay, let me get this thing over here first. Whew. Yeah, my video ain't starting. So wait, what is this? Is it going? I keep my thing covered. Just in case someone hacked my camera. Sorry. Okay, let's get back to the agenda. So we don't have a lot planned. Basically, what I was thinking about doing was well, we can't approve the minutes because we never had a quorum from the last one, and most of you are new, so you wouldn't be able to know what the old minutes are. We'll start with my report, where I'm working with Mr. Tyrone McDonald of NHS to try and put together some topics for a housing series for the rest of it'll be complete for the rest of the year. So this way we'll the housing will know what we're doing, and we can have some topics that everyone can relate to and use in the real world. And let me pull up the list with the topics that we were discussing, and this way you can add topics that you would like as well. Let me get into the email. Okay, so it'll be some things on tenants' rights and housing, estate planning, and things of that nature. Let me open up the email so we could housing topics. Oh, here we go. Okay, the topics that we were discussing was estate planning, how to protect your property when construction and renovation is happening next to you, understanding your deed and ways to pass down ownership to your heirs, insurance, homeowners insurance and rental insurance, and then tenants' rights, the right to repair and what to do if your landlord doesn't make them. And I was bringing that to the floor to see if those are good topics that you would like to do. And if you have some topics that you would prefer to add to this list, that would be great, because I wanted to make it a nice all around series that we cover something for homeowners, soon to be homeowners, landlords, and tenants. So this way, it is something for everyone. So what do you guys think? Questions, suggestions?
Good idea.
Ms. Freeman, you have the floor.
Hi, yes, just a couple of questions. I'm a real estate agent and I'm working with a homeowner now that expressed difficulties with a developer that's developing a new building next to her home. So this would be great for both of us to attend, and I just wanted to know what day and time this event will be held.
That's what we're going to be discussing now. We're putting this together now because we're all a team. And so we're going to decide what's going to be the agenda and when we're going to do it and how we're going to do it and where we're going to do it.
Okay, great.
Okay. And if you have some topics that you want to add to this series, that would be great, because I don't know everything. And so having everyone chime in, that would be awesome, because I could be missing things, especially as a person who's a renter. I'm not a homeowner, so I don't know exactly what you guys are going through and what you need to bring to the table and to learn about. CK Price, you have the floor.
Forgive me.
I'm
outside, so there's
also a renter.
Uh-huh.
sorry, large car driving by. I'm walking home.
Oh, no problem.
I wanted to. I don't know if there are many co-ops in the area, but that might be something worth considering. I know that there were a few HDFCs nearby, but I forget if there's any actually in the district. But that may be something that might be worth talking about too.
Co-ops, like how to buy
Yeah, that's
one?
a good idea.
What the co-ops like?
Shareholders.
That could
Oh,
go
sure.
a couple different ways, but if you're a shareholder, what your responsibilities are, if you're looking for ways to help deal with bringing down your maintenance fees or getting the maintenance done or special projects, or there's a lot of different things that it could cover. I don't know if we have any that is worth it though.
Oh, okay. Well, we
I'm
can
a
look
co-op
into it.
owner. I'm a shareholder.
Who said that?
Yolanda Belcher.
Okay.
It's
So,
Yolanda
what do you think?
Belcher, and I'm in Mansfield Owners
Okay.
Co-op.
So what do you think about what he suggested and some other things that you may be going through that we should address?
I think everything that he said was on par. You know, trying to get the management company to do regular upkeep and maintenance. And if there are any, to have like a tenants association within these, or a shareholders association within these co-ops, to start up, how you go about getting people to organize, so these concerns can be made not singularly, but as a group, because you get more power with a group of people rather than just one person complaining.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you so much. Anyone else?
Quickly, along that co-op tip, I'd also recommend maybe talking about transitioning them from one shareholder to the next, preserving the housing in the community at an affordable rate, et cetera, et cetera.
Like in selling it or passing it down to a family?
Either or. It depends on each
Yeah.
co-op where their bylaws are.
Okay. Anything else? Anyone would like to add to that? Or any other topic? As owners, I know some owners are on here for housing. What issues you would like to make sure we deal with? I'm thinking deed theft. Did I say deed theft? on the topic? I know some people had to deal with deed theft, right? Do we have that?
Good evening. My name
Yes.
is Kim Mormon.
Hi, welcome.
Yes. I'm a new committee member. So, what I would be interested in is if there would be a way that the city could assist renters, because during the pandemic, like my personal situation is that I was on a work furlough, and that lasted about 8 months. So I was receiving unemployment for 8 months, and I got very behind in my rent.
Mhm.
And this has been ongoing. And then the ERAP, there's no more ERAP. So
Right.
it's extremely stressful because this was unforeseen. But for the event of the pandemic, I wouldn't have been behind so extensively. I just came out of court this morning. They're giving me a 1 year to try to resolve my arrears on my own.
Okay.
I'm trying to get
Well, the
assistance
mayor
through a
has a
one-shot
program.
deal. And
So
I
you're
was
looking
just wondering if you could bring up that topic, like what other community organizations besides HRA? Besides
Okay, I'll add
one-shot
that to the
deal?
list.
Yeah, and that's basically
Today's not
it.
the first day she's been having a conversation, sir.
Wait, who's speaking? Okay, we have Michelle who has a hand up.
Hi, yes,
you
good evening, everyone. Hello, good evening. I'm a homeowner in the CB17 area, and my specific concern, I don't know if anyone's familiar, on Utica Avenue between Lenox and Linden, there is a huge gas station slash convenience store slash car wash that is recently shut down. It falls immediately right in my backyard. They plan to do demolition. These construction and engineering people are asking my neighbors and myself whose backyards are going to be affected for access to our homes to build a 13-foot safety zone and actually knock down the wall, which is a solid brick wall that offers protection to our homes, and put in place of it, replace it with a 8-foot fence, leaving all of our backyards vulnerable to all of the turbulence on Utica Avenue, the garbage, the trash. And aside from asking for your support with that project, I also have major concerns about these asylum seekers and individuals. What can we do about these mentally challenged individuals just toggling up and down our streets, from our city streets to our hospitals, back to the streets, and dumping alcohol bottles and things all over our streets?
Michelle, hold on just 1 second. We can say that topic particular for the new business, so this way we can have discussions on that and see how we can help in that area. Right now, I just want to focus on getting the topics for the series, and then we can put do your topic for the new business. Okay.
Understood.
Okay. Thank you. Who's this? Raise hand, Mr. Herbert.
Yes, hi, how are you? So just to follow up on some of the, with regards to protecting yourself from deed theft, I'm a homeowner, and it is very important that every homeowner, right, have some sort of alert status on their deed. Like I have LifeLock, and they have caught or made me they have alerted me to someone trying to tamper with my deed. So just I would strongly suggest that LifeLock, Best Home Title Lock, many services out there. I would strongly suggest that in these times, if you are a property owner, to protect yourself by obtaining one or two of these services.
Okay.
I strongly. Now, also with regards to those that live in the condos, their shareholders in co-ops and condos and so forth, it should be. How can I say this? I believe different committees should be formed in order to make sure that everything with the entire building is known to the residents through the committees, right? And you can have various committees, just like you have here on the community board. You can have those
Yeah.
within your own developments. I'm a former facilities manager. I handled many projects, many properties, industrial and commercial, and having these committees really bring things in the forefront. And they allow me, as the former facilities manager, to keep ahead of things and also to bring things to light that I might overlook. Because sometimes the management company, they are not looking at the things you are. So forming these committees will help you. And that's all I have to say.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so we can get some topics on the, maybe helping them to form, how to form committees and yeah, handle stuff like that. Okay, that's a good one. Anyone
Yeah,
else?
that's a good one.
Ms. Freeman? You have the floor?
Yeah, hi. I wanted to know if we can get like someone from the Department of Buildings on the panel. And also, I don't know what division takes care of city steps vouchers and Section 8 and all of that, but that particular department of the city needs to provide more assistance to tenants. They don't provide really any assistance, but give them a voucher and say good luck. So I'm not sure who's going to be on the panel, but if someone can be on the panel to speak to those two topics.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Sorit?
Okay.
Yes.
Yolanda Belger, I'm on the phone. I just recently got some information from the mayor about assisting housing assistance that he's providing. So I could send that to you, Ms. Fields, if that would be helpful to you.
Yes,
so you
yes,
have to give me
please.
some information so I can forward that on to you.
Yes, you can send it to our housing email is CB, it's so long, CB17 Housing Committee at gmail.com. I'll put it in the chat. CB17 Housing Committee at gmail.com. Okay, here we go.
So say that again, please.
I'll put it in the chat so this way it can, oh, you're on the phone. Oh, CB17 Housing Committee at gmail.com.
At email.com.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank
All right.
you. Okay,
Okay.
let's see, hands up. Mr. Sorit?
Sure. Can you hear me clearly, Ms. Fields?
Yes.
Okay. So what I wanted to suggest is that an old topic, not a new topic, an old topic that the community board has spoken about be put on the agenda, which has been delayed and delayed and delayed. And what I'm talking about is the Vital Brooklyn projects that are happening all along Clarkson Avenue. And what I would ask you to do, if you could bring in New York State, Empire State Development, and if they can tell you about what's really going on, because homeowners who want housing for, let's say, families, it's 50% homeless for almost all of these projects. The homeowners in CB17 complain. And if you look at the October land use meeting, and I'm going to drop this in the chat so you could see it and everybody could see it. The
Hold on,
CB17.
I want to cut you off real quick.
Hold
Can
on.
we say,
Let me just
no,
let me
you
just
can
say
say the
this.
topic. You can say it, but just at a different area. Because right now this
No,
is
no,
just
no,
a
no.
topics.
So please don't shut me down. You've done this
I don't want
time
to
and
shut
time
you
again.
down. You can talk. You can
Please,
talk about it.
No, let me
Sir,
just
you can
finish
talk
what I'm
about it. I
saying.
just want you to do it in a different section.
Please
This is for
don't.
this
I don't
is
want
for
to. I don't want to.
topics.
I
I'm gonna let you
understand that.
talk. I'm gonna
Please,
let you talk.
Mr.
But right now
Sorit,
at the
Mr.
other
Sorit,
one.
with all due respect,
Listen,
she
I'm
is
gonna let you
chairing the
talk.
meeting. Please,
I am not
sir.
allowed to finish what I'm saying.
But
Let me
she's
finish my
chairing the
sentence.
You're
meeting.
doing.
She's
But
telling
I'm
you
a
you
member
could
of the
speak.
public.
You could speak,
Right.
but in a different section. That's what
No,
she's saying to you.
but
She heard
it's
what you
not new.
said, but your second topic falls in a
Okay.
different section.
Okay. I'm making a
Please,
public
allow her
comment.
to, with all
Yes.
due
You can
respect,
make a
allow her to
comment.
chair the
No,
meeting, please.
okay. With
You
all
can
due
make a comment. That's
respect,
in a different
you cannot
section.
interrupt a member of the public, Ms. Fraser. I'm making a public statement. Please do not get involved in interrupting a member of the public. You're a district
Sir.
manager, okay? I
Sir.
just want to finish what I'm saying.
No, I understand you want to talk, but you can say the topic for the
Appropriate
next
time,
No,
session.
you're shutting
For
me
the
down.
next
Can I
session.
finish my
I
sentence?
don't want to shut you down, but you're skipping over the topics. And
No,
I just
I'm not.
want to just go in the order of the
This has
agenda.
happened for over a year. Let me
Yeah.
finish my sentence. That's all I want.
I'm very interested
Sir, I
in
know,
what
I
Mr.
I
understand,
just
Sorg
but
want
has
to
to
finish
say.
my sentence.
I understand that,
I
but you're
just want
jumping
to finish my
ahead.
sentence.
And you're
Please.
jumping ahead.
No,
And
no,
can you
you're
wait?
shutting me down.
No,
You've
I'm
done
not
this
shutting
for a
you down.
year.
I'm asking you to
Yes, you
respect the
have.
process.
Will
Sir,
you let
I'm
me
asking you
finish
to
my
respect the
comments?
process.
This
Sir,
is
I'm
not
asking
new
you to respect the
business.
process.
And can I finish my public comments?
You can do it at the next section when it's that for that particular thing because
And
I already know what you're bringing
what is
up.
the next why do I have to wait to the next section?
I
Because
am
we're working on
very,
the topics right now.
I am very interested in what Mr. Sword has to say.
Yes.
Please, as a
He can
member,
talk about it.
as
But
a
that's in the
member of
next
the
section.
community, I would like to hear what he has to say. I mean, by not letting him finish, I'm already skeptical as to why is he not being able to complete his sentence. I
Because he
don't.
comes to various meetings, he takes over, and we don't get to the things that we came to get to. So I'm keeping everything in the proper order. And when we get to the section where he can
No
speak about
problem.
new and
I'll
old
wait.
business,
I'll wait.
he can bring
Yes.
that topic up. But whenever he comes to the different meetings, he completely takes over, and I can't have that happen this time. I need him to
It's
stay in
old
the order
business.
of the
It's
agenda.
old
He can stay in
business.
the order of the
No problem.
agenda.
No problem.
Protocol.
Okay. Thank you. Does anyone else have any topics that they want to add to the series that we're trying to do? Where's my agenda? I'm already upset. This is ridiculous. Okay.
It's okay. We're
Raise your
behind you.
hand.
It's okay, Ms.
Okay,
Pierce.
thank you. Thank you.
Sean
Raise your
Freeman
hand.
has her hand up.
Ms. Freeman, go ahead, please talk. You have the floor. Oh, she didn't want to talk? Okay.
I'll try it on mute. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
I don't know if she's muted. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I sent a
Yeah, no,
request.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking maybe I never turned it off. No, I'm good. I just,
okay.
I was just comments in the chat. I wasn't sure if this was about housing or what. If he was talking about housing, or if it's not, then we need to just move along.
Yes. Okay. So does anyone else have any topics they want to add to the series so that I can try and move this along? Okay, we have those for you who should stay in purpose, those for you who should stay in their apartments. Thanks so much. What does that mean, Ms. Mormon? Can you elaborate on that particular comment? Did she leave? Oh, there she is. Ms. Mormon? Okay, I thought she didn't have me. Okay, so if we don't have any more suggestions for this particular topic, we can move to the next thing on the list. Oh, we want to do some brainstorming for the people in the Block Association. As mentioned before, oh wait, someone got something? Oh, you can tell. I'll get to you next. We are combined with Block Association now, and so I'm admitting I don't know exactly what they were doing in the past, and so if you know, if you were in the Block Association committee before, maybe you can bring me up to speed as to what you guys were doing and brainstorm. We can brainstorm about things we want to do in future meetings, so this way we can make sure we are meeting your needs as well. So if anyone wants to chime in on this, that would be great. But is anyone here who was in the previous Block Association meetings first? Raise your hand. Or is everyone here new? I guess we have all newbies, no Block Association people. So I'm just gonna have to Google what to do for Block Association at this point because I have no idea.
Here's the thing. Black Association wasn't doing nothing. It was just the people's.
Oh, okay.
It was just the people that is the Black Association was actually doing stuff. They used to keep a meeting at the precinct. Spells no sense, basically. They just showed us a bunch of guns that they took off the street. That's probably not even from our neighborhood.
Okay.
You make
Okay,
suggestion, nobody does nothing.
Okay, that's not good. Okay, so maybe we're gonna have to find a way to be productive in that area.
Yeah,
So
we
I
need
guess-
to. It's been a long while now. We trying to. For some reason, we
Cause
never get it done.
I was told that the block association in our neighborhood was pretty strong, so.
Yeah, because the people that are a part of it, the state does nothing.
Okay,
Half the time, we the one out there arguing with people to get it done.
okay, so we're gonna have to figure that out.
For instance, it's cleaning the street. Most of the time we have to do that ourselves.
Okay, okay. So we're gonna have to figure this out. Okay, I see hands. Mr. Eduardo Cameron, you can go first. You have the floor. Mr. Cameron? You are muted. Did you want to speak? Okay, we'll come back to you until you can get on. Mr. Price, CK Price?
I actually wanted to ask if you could repeat the list of topics for the thing. I was trying to get in earlier just to see for the panel, just to make sure.
Okay, let me go back to my page. Let me go back to that page. Topics. The topics are so far estate planning, estate planning topic, how to protect your property when construction renovation is happening next to you, understanding your deed and ways to pass down ownership to your heirs, insurance topic for homeowners, insurance and rental insurance, and tenant right to repair and what to do if your landlord doesn't make them. And then people tonight suggested, let me get back to that page, something on co-op. Wait, who said that? Oh, okay. We have something on co-ops and shareholders and what your responsibilities and on maintenance and on shareholders associations and how the shareholder can organize. And we have how the city could assist renters since there's no more ERAT and deed theft and putting alerts for deed theft and organizing committees and co-ops. And someone to get someone from the Department of Buildings to be on the panel and discuss city vouchers. And someone wrote in the chat, rental assistance options for other than HRA one-shot deals. That's good. Mr. Price?
Okay, no, that's a lot of things. I'm kind of tempted to say something about housing court, like how it works for those people who don't know.
Hey, that we need that. That has to do with housing. That's a good idea. Housing court. Yeah, housing court.
But to get to where we actually were in the agenda now, what I was going to ask is, what technically is the mandate or the purview of the Block Association Committee?
That's what I was saying. I don't really know since it was just combined into the housing committee because I've been doing the housing committee all this time. So I was hoping some of the housing association committee members was going to join the meeting and then clue me in. So this way I can make sure they're getting the most out of these meetings. But apparently none of the members really came over. So we're going to have to figure it out on our own together. So this way we can make sure we're doing the best we can for everyone.
Research. And that's fine. That's fine. We'll do some research. That's okay.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's get back to the agenda. Okay. So at this point, we can take topics from the floor, starting with any old business. Mr. Wait, who said that? Wait. Mr. Eduardo, are you still trying to speak?
Oh yeah, I forgot to take my
Okay. If you're not speaking, can you put your thing on mute? So this way we don't hear your background. Okay. And so Mr. Eduardo, if you're not trying to speak, I guess we're gonna move on to the next thing. And that would be Mr. Sora, now you can speak. We're doing the old business and you're bringing up something that you brought up before. So you have the floor for 3 minutes.
Okay, sure. So if everyone, again, my name is Jay Sword. I'm part of a community organization in East Flatbush that represents over 78 families. And it deals with the issues that go on north of Clarkson Avenue and south. And the biggest topic is this Vital Brooklyn thing, where it's a couple thousand units, and New York State is keeping the community in the dark. The Community Board 17 and CB9 are keeping people in the dark. What I'd like you all to do, if you look at the web chat, I dropped something in the chat that is the October of 2022 Land Use Committee of CB17. I ask you all to go to in the web chat. I dropped October 22nd, the CB17 Land Use Committee, and you will hear the entire committee of CB17 tell about how this Vital Brooklyn, how there's a problem with the shelters, and how there are residents in CB17 who suffer because of the homeless defecating on their lawns, harassing people, and some real concerns. Every member of the committee at CB17 acknowledges it. Hazel Martinez also goes into it and specifically says what the problems are. I ask you to take a look at the video at CB17. After October, this community board dropped it. They dropped it. They wouldn't deal with it anymore. I'm the one who brought it to them. I sent it out to Julia James, and then instead of inviting me to join, they had a meeting in October. But what's important is that it matters to the community. If you go to our website, which is saynotoless.com, you will see all of the information, everything that this community board and CB9 hasn't told you. And tonight at 8:30, we have actually a Zoom meeting. We have weekly Zoom meetings with people what's going on. So I'm asking you, Miss Fields, here's the question. Is Vital Brooklyn a topic that is important for housing?
It's a topic that's important for housing, but we discovered that it's part of CB9. We would support. We told you before that we would support whatever CB9 says, but CB17 can do so much because they're not in CB17 area. They're in CB9.
Okay, so let me just respond to that. So just to respond to that, because you're misinforming people. The issue is whether it affects the community. It's on the border of CB9 and CB17. As long as it affects the community, you can get involved. And in 1998, this community board voted against it. And I'm going to put that in the chat. So I hope all of you who are listening, look at the chat. I'm going to show you how in 1998, this community board said we have a problem with the homeless shelters on Clarkson, and now they're not doing it. It doesn't matter where it's physically located. It's just if it affects the community, and then you can get involved. Section 197-C-M of the New York City Charter says it doesn't matter if it's physically located someplace else. You always can give an opinion because you are the voice of the community. Now I'm asking you, does this affect the residents in CB17? If it's located on Clarkson, there's a whole bunch of homeless. Does it affect it, and should it be a topic that you deal with?
We only have so much that we can't. We're allowed to do.
And I'm saying that it's a land use issue. It is not a housing issue. It's a land use issue, and we have a land use committee that handles those matters. So I would refer you to the land use committee.
It's 1,090 units. It's also a housing issue. It's not just one committee, it's several committees. It's the land use and it's 1,090 units. It's the housing units. It's both committees. Why is this committee running from their responsibility? It's joint responsibility. It's a housing issue. It's housing developments. It's both housing and land use.
You can't tell you, Ms. Fields, he can't tell you. He can't tell you what our committee is and what our committee isn't. We allowed him to speak. He spoke. It's a land use issue, Ms. Fields, and let them handle it. We're housing. You heard the issues that we are currently addressing on our topics. Were you listening to the topics that we wanted to talk about?
It's housing for the homeless. It's housing for the homeless. It's housing for the homeless and not for families. It's a housing issue when you put 1,090 units there. It's a housing development. Why are you running from the responsibility?
Okay, I'm not running from the responsibility. Two, I've been speaking to you for several months now, and we've told you several times that one is a CB non-issue. Two, it is a land use, as Miss yeah, I can't get her name straight. I'm so sorry, but she
Belcher.
mentioned so
Right.
Belcher. I'm sorry. And so we let you speak. We wanted to speak. We did not keep you from speaking. And so now we're going to move on to anyone
But
else.
you just you misinform people. You just told them it
I'm not
doesn't affect
misinforming people.
CB17 residents.
It
Don't
affects
say it
CB17
doesn't affect
residents, but
CB17 residents.
CB9 are the ones who are addressing this thing. They're the ones who have the power to address it. We can speak up and give our opinions.
It's your issue.
What
It's residents in
CB17 can do.
CB17. You're turning your back on your brothers and
can't
sisters.
tell us
You are
what
turning
the
your back on
house-
your brothers and sisters.
Thank you, sir.
cannot
And
tell
now
us.
we're going to
You
the next
cannot-
person. Who's this? Mr. Jean, you have the floor, please. Is it
Good.
Zen?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Good evening,
Yes.
Mrs. Fields. Thank you for allowing me to speak. So I just want to pretty much build on what Mr. Sword has been speaking about. Now, this is my issue. As a homeowner, right? I believe that this greatly affects the residents within the community. And I think the issue is not what's going on within the community. I think the issue is the lack of awareness. By way of basic common sense, ma'am, is what Mr. Sword is saying is true, and I believe he has the evidence to support what he's saying. If the developmental project he's saying is on the border, obviously the homeless individuals are going to wander into the CB17 community. Respectfully, ma'am. Another thing, because awareness has been being raised within the community, and none of the homeowners are for these projects, but nonetheless, they're not aware. So my question to you, Ms. Field, regardless of if it's in CB17 or CB9, regardless if it's housing or land use, ma'am, what is being done to raise awareness to the residents of the community, ma'am?
Well, so far we've been
Talk to
following
our community board chairman, Roderick. Talk to the community board chairman, Mr. Roderick. He's in charge of us all. That's where you should go. You don't go to East Housing and different committees. He is the chairman of the board. Speak to him.
Ma'am, I apologize. I'm not trying to come off as argumentative or combative. I mean, I'm just trying to understand, and because I'm new to this community board stuff. So as a individual within the community, I mean, you're telling me directly, speak to so and so. Speak to someone. I don't know who so and so is, ma'am.
She didn't mean to yell at you. It's just that sometimes people come from different community boards and they try to take over our meetings, and so it makes people get a little upset about it. So that's why they're very defensive right now. But it's understandable that you want to get more information about this. And to be honest, I don't have all of the details memorized because there's been so many that he was sending all of these different emails and everything to digest, and it's a lot. And he is right that they've been discussing it with the land use committee, and so when they decide that they're going to next step or whatever, that's on them. But the best person to get you more information and decide we move to the next step would be our chair, Mr. Roderick. So what we can do is we can get you the email address for him, so this way he can determine how you can be able to go to next steps and get more information for you to get you caught up. Okay,
I mean,
so
I think that's fair.
Okay,
if
thank you.
If you could just post his information on the chat, I mean on the board or whatever, so there's a way to contact him so we can educate ourselves, we'd appreciate it.
Okay, no problem. Ms. Frazier, can you drop Mr. Roderick's contact email in the chat for us? That would be great. Thank you.
Certainly.
Next, I see hand Cheryl Bernard.
Good night, everyone. How are you all? Can you hear me?
Hi.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Good night.
Yes.
I've been listening in, and I'm hearing one is CB9, one is CB17. I'm hearing this is not land, this is housing, this is not land use. And I know that understanding how community boards work, but one thing I do know that unity in everything conquers situations. If we as constituents of a neighborhood, there's no line that's going to separate us, like there's no line that's going to separate the shelters that they want to put up in Vital Brooklyn. And one of the things that I heard from someone building it is said, oh, we're going to give them their own green space. And I asked them, do you think that's not going to make them wander? This Vital Brooklyn project is going to be, the entrance is going to be on Clarkson Avenue. Then there's also, as it is now, and then it's Winthrop, and then it's Albany. I don't think that we should be concerned with whose community board is in charge or whose community branches off. We as a people have to have some type of united front, some type of unity to try to combat. We should not be arguing amongst ourselves, because what is coming and what they are proposing is not a good thing. I don't know if everyone is aware about it, aware of what's going on. This is not something that's going to have an invisible wall where people won't be able to come out and terrorize the community as they have been doing already. History has shown and proven the situations with the homeless shelters that we already have. And I thank you for those that are trying to bring awareness to what's going on, because it's a serious thing. If you all hear the zoning, the rezoning that the mayor is trying to do, it's very, very scary. It's something that if we don't stop or get band together now, we're all doomed. I've been in my home for 50 years. I've been working most of that time. Now I'm able to stay at home, and I'm seeing my community change. And it's something that if we don't band together, I don't care if it's public safety, I don't care if it's environmental, I don't care if it's housing, if it's land use. I think that as a community gets together and we all actually sit down and let's talk about the elephant in the room that's going to grow into a big lion. I think that together we can come together. And I understand there's certain agendas that need to be done, and I understand that there's certain guidelines, but I think that there needs to be a situation where we can all speak about this certain project or what's going to change our community. Let me tell you all, when they start here, they're not going to stop. This is just a sample. This is just let's see if we could put our foot in the water. And once they get and they're successful with what they want to do, everyone is going to be saying, oh, I wish I listened. This is just the beginning. So thank you for allowing me to speak. I hope and pray that we can all come together as a community, because I'm not against housing. I'm against the fact of the amount of shelters or the amount of social services that they want to increase and double with no parking in our area. I mean, this is simple math. I don't understand how, as adults, not saying anyone here is stupid, but when you look at the way that we're going, it's not going to be good. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you. Thank you for speaking. And note that we have a zoning committee as well, and they're working on that very issue that you spoke of. And so if you want to participate with that particular committee, that would be great, because she could use the help as well. And I think she's focusing on contextual zoning and some other things. So yes, it would be a good idea to get in contact with the zoning committee.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Zenobia McNally.
Good evening. And thank you for giving me a moment to speak. Actually, Ms. Bernard said most of the things that I wanted to say, so good for you, Ms. Bernard. We have to be very careful, because the subject is that what are they proposing, and we're all going to be affected by it. And we need to look and see, because we don't know, for example, and this is something else I was going to bring up, but it is really part of land use as well, that the Sears parking lot, which most of you are familiar with, that they're building there, the Sears parking lot has two sides of Bedford Avenue. For those of you who may not be aware, Bedford Avenue is a dividing line between Community Board 14 and Community Board 17. Yet still, they were able to put the whole lot that was on the Sears service, the car service area. They put the whole thing in Community Board 14. Now, I'm going to have to investigate this, and I'll be having a call with you, Ms. Frazier, to understand why that whole lot was put into Community Board 14 when it squarely sits in Community Board 17. So we all have to be cognizant of what's going on around us, even if it's not within our purview of block associations, because at the end of the day, we all suffer if we don't pay attention. So I'm very glad, Mrs. Sorhid, I don't know how you pronounce your name, that you brought this up, because we need to be aware of what is going on in our community so we can address the issue before it becomes an issue that we in Community Board 17 have to worry about. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McNally. Michelle, I see your hand is up.
Ms. Fields, this is Yolanda Belcher on the phone. I would just like to follow up with that.
Okay.
I would just like to follow up. It's good that we listen to it, but the power to do something to affect it lies with a specific area. We can talk about it outside of our housing and block association topics, but the real area in order to correct it lies elsewhere. And I think that is more important to find the place, the effective place that has the power to correct it. And so when we refer you to land use and zoning, we believe that if they have the power to help you to correct it. We want you to have corrections, but we do not have the power. And in order to effectuate a change, you have to find the people that have the power to affect the change. We do not. To affect the
if I may
change,
speak, I
believe
I was called before.
Yes, Michelle is next.
Yes, I'm sorry. I actually want to counter Ms. Frazier, and actually, as I'm listening, I find it very disheartening because what it feels like, this conversation has become very divisive. The conversation feels like there's a passing of the buck happening here. I feel like this is very much the place for us to have this conversation. Yes, we have many topics that we need to cover, but the primary topic that we find most pressing as the constituents of this neighborhood that is affecting our daily lives, that is affecting our comfortability and our own homes, us sitting out on the porch and enjoying the breeze and sitting out and being accosted by asylum seekers and homeless individuals. Yes, this is the place. This is the very place to have these discussions. Now, I would appreciate Broderick's email and contact information. All of that is great, but I want to know specifically, what can the board do for us to help advocate on our behalf? There is something you can be done. You can't just say, hey, speak to our chair. We're having these meetings for a reason. In 1998, Community Board 17 rejected the ULURP application. They recognized how much that affected everyone's quality of life, and they rejected it. What has changed? That was 25 years ago, and the issue is actually more pervasive than then. It has become more prevalent since COVID. The issue is only worsening. So how can we all commit, instead of dividing and passing the buck and speak to this person and speak to this committee and that, how can we all collectively, because as Mr. Sorid said, we have to work in tandem. We can't just, oh, this is going to be a land use and this is, they're all intertwined. And so they rejected it in 1998. And I want to know what community board can specifically do for us and help to reject it again in 2023. We need to commit to new solutions. We can't just keep talking about the same stuff and then pushing it off. It's getting pushed off. And as we're pushing it off, the initiatives to start these projects are starting. And it's happening right under our noses. And this is the problem. So this is the place for us to have those conversations.
Okay, thank you so much, Michelle. Here's the one thing though, the people who are the ones who make the decision as far as the ULURP go is CB9. All we can do is support what CB9 does, and we can speak about it. That's what I was trying to explain to you before. We can speak about it and we can rally about it and have marches and everything, but the area in CB9 are the one who get to vote, actually vote on it and say yes or no. And CB9 voted on it and they approved it. So
that's wrong. That's false information. False information.
Isn't that what you said? Isn't that what you said at the last meeting that
false information. Can I correct that before you made a statement in the record? It's very important.
Please do.
CB9 never voted on Vital Brooklyn. 2 weeks ago, they issued a resolution saying that they're against it unless they get more information. What Michelle is talking about is in 1998, and this is in the chat, and I ask anybody, take a look in the chat. This community board in 1998 on the same exact property, 681 Clarkson, said, even though it's located in CB9, we can still issue a resolution. We can give an opinion. You're the voice of the community. There's nothing holding it back. This is not a ULURP matter. This is a New York State matter. So there's even less closing your hands. There's not less binding you. It's New York State. There's nothing that restricts you from saying, I want a resolution saying I'm against it, just like it was in 1998. Okay? And I can't go to the rezoning chair, Julia James. She is a real estate developer from Canarsie. I'm not going to her. Okay? And she said we're not dealing with it. All right? And by the way, it goes first to the committee and then to the community board. Please don't tell people to contact Roderick because the chair will tell you it first goes to the committee.
He had questions. That's why I sent him to Mr. Roderick. So, and he wanted more information and had questions. That's why I sent it to him. So it's important that we make sure he knows who our chair is. If he has further questions that only Mr. Roderick can deal with. But there's certain things I can speak up about, but I can't speak for him because it's not my place. I'm not the chair of the entire board. I'm just the chair of the housing. So that's why I told him to speak to him and to get more information, why he can get Mr. Rogers' email address. So 2 different things.
Well, if you can speak to him, please, on our behalf as well and carry this information back. We can email as much as we want, but if you work directly with him, we would appreciate if you say, hey, these are their concerns. This has to be talked about because until they address it, we were not willing to face all of these other concerns that everyone is talking about when this is the most pressing issue we are facing right now.
Yes, that is something I can do, definitely. I see community board host hands up. Is that you, Ms. Frazier?
Yes, it is. I wanted to correct Miss Michelle. The person that spoke about moving the item to the land use is Miss Belcher and not Miss Frazier. I think it did say on record that it was me that was speaking. Point of correction.
Apologies.
Secondly, I would like to encourage everyone in this Zoom meeting tonight to pay full attention to the city of Yes. Okay, go on your Google City of Yes and read up on it. Very, very important. It is going to change the dynamics of every community. Residential and commercial. Very important. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Frazier. I see hands of Mr. Herbert.
Yes. Hi. Thank you. So I just want to say that, yeah, listen, housing, it's a very important topic, throughout the city and throughout the country, I should say. But one of the things that with this particular project with the homeless, and yeah, they need their services and so forth for mental health issues and crises. But the thing is, what are the plans and the programs that they're going to have for these individuals? That has never, at least to my knowledge, and I did my research, that has never been stated. All right, now Breaking Ground, which is within the King Federal Psychiatric Center, they have programs for the homeless, but their programs, from what I understand, are subpar. Right? And Breaking Ground is a horrible neighbor. All right, they're a horrible neighbor to the community for both CB9 and for CB17. All right, and one other thing I just have to say, right now, with the homeless population that is currently within the grounds of the complex, there are a total of 47 e-scooters that are out there because they all do the little DoorDash and they chain them up to the fence. Right? So when this new complex is built, that fence is no more. So where are these 47 scooters going to go? Right? And in addition, all along Clarkson Avenue, because abandoned cars, I can't take them. I do everything I can to get rid of them. Right? They do own vehicles. And just by boots on the ground, I've observed 10 vehicles that belong to the individuals in that complex. And they just keep them on the street. So who is coming in? What are the services? And how are they going to change the dynamics of the neighborhood? And I think that's something that it's a housing issue, because this housing development or project is going to bring these matters here. I use my time.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Herbert. Does anyone has any questions for Mr. Herbert? Okay, we have next Mr. Zhang. Am I saying your name right? I feel like I'm saying your name right.
It's okay, ma'am. Ms. Fields, my name is Zhang.
Zhang, okay.
Yes, from my understanding, like I said, this is my first time attending one of these meetings. Although certain individuals in this community board are appointed, I would still like to think it's a democratic process as far as voicing the opinion of the people. So with that being said, it appears that a lot of the constituents inside of this meeting right now have a key issue that they want to address, and that's these Vital Brooklyn and all these development projects. So I felt a little bit uncomfortable when Ms. Belcher kept on trying to cut everyone off and try to sway the conversation to another place. But one of the things I like to bring to your attention, Ms. Fields, is that every time you look at the TV,
That's not true.
Okay, thank you. Whatever. But one of the things I want to bring to your attention, Ms. Fields, is that if you look at the TV, every time Mayor Adams or Hochul is trying to house the asylum seekers somewhere upstate, like there's a great unity amongst the people upstate, and they automatically shoot the project down. That's why I think it's absolutely necessary, regardless of the community board, if we all bind together, we can achieve the same results. That's why so much of the development projects and so on and so forth can't be taking place in places like Staten Island. That's why they can't go upstate New York. And, you know, we just want that same energy within this immediate community, Ms. Fields.
Yes. Yes, I understand, and that's true. We do need to bound together, but we can. What happens is, what I've been trying to put forth is that I'm not against us working together. It's just that in certain situations we take the lead, and in other situations we follow because the other people have have the lead. Like with that being a CB9, we can complain and help and support them, but they have to take the lead on it because it's their area. But when it's our area, then we take the lead on it, and we've already let CB9 know that we're willing to support them and back their play. So that's why I was saying, sometimes we have to be the followers and sometimes we have to be the leaders. We have to leave space so that we can try and help, but we can't do it all by ourselves. We can speak about it, but sometimes we have to get help in that area, you know? So I wasn't trying to shut anyone down. I want everyone's opinions, but I also want to make sure that no one else is being bullied, especially when something has been said over and over again. You tend to make people not want to speak up if they feel like they're going to be bullied, you know what I mean? So that's why I have to shut it down sometime, you know?
Of course. So, Ms. Fields, okay, that's a fair, respectable answer. So my question to you, Ms. Fields, respectfully, is because the energy of this whole entire community board is centered around one thing, what do you yourself plan on doing immediately or after this meeting to voice the concerns of the sentiments of everyone in this meeting right now, ma'am?
Well, one, I can find out exactly what happened with CB9 since Mr. Soros said they came to some sort of conclusion, to this way I can be up to date with the actual correct information from the people who actually done it, and then I can make sure our chair is made aware and brought into the loop. Because again, I can bring things up to the chair, but I can't act on behalf of the chair unless that's something he requested. So it's a chain of command, so to speak. But I want to make sure your voices, everyone who's made the complaints, their complaints are moved to the correct place, so that this way their issue can be resolved. But it's just a process. That's all. It's just something that we can try and do quickly, but all I can do right now is the best that I can to voice your opinions to the chair.
Okay, so lastly, I just want to finish my comment by saying we would like for you to please treat this as a time-sensitive matter, because time is not on our side. So therefore, we want to get this going as soon as possible, please.
I understand. No problems. Okay, I see a hand, Ms. Frazier. Do you still wanted to talk? Your hand is up.
I'm sorry. I'll lower my hands. Sorry about
Okay,
that. Thank you.
okay, I see Zenobia, your hand is up. Did you want to talk?
Yes.
Okay.
I just want, I want to also say that that what Mr. Zenji, I like your name, ZN, beautiful three initials. Anyway, that we could take up, even though we're not running that effort, that's not in our league, it's on CB9. We could take a preemptive stance by making a statement that says we do not want that. Okay,
Beautiful.
we
Absolutely
need to say
beautiful.
that because
Beautiful.
they'll sneak right over to us, and we know this. I mean, for those of you who've been in this community long enough, those things slide over into us.
Very
Okay.
true.
And once
By
it's
design.
once it's exactly by design, once it's established in one area, believe me, you know very well they're looking at other areas to do the same thing. And thank you so much, Ms. Frazier, for talking about us looking at the mayor's. We should all look at that what the mayor is trying to do as far as the city of yes, because sometimes we need a lot of no's.
Thank you. I see Mr. C.K. Price, your hand is still up. Did you want to talk?
I did, yes, thank you. A lot of what I was gonna get at has already been mentioned on, so I'll be brief. The first thing I wanted to say is, as others have said, but I'll say it in a different way, we can take as much or as little initiative about certain things as we want to. And I would recommend that we try to take some initiative in at least coming to a stance on this matter, because we're going to have to do it again on the eastern part of the district where I am, because they want to start building all of this stuff on East 98th Street. And the fact of them, and a lot of it is supposed to be big housing right under the train tracks, which makes no sense to me. But literally 3 blocks, and that's the dividing line for the district, and literally 3 or 4 blocks down, they're going to put up another big residential thing and say that everybody needs housing. And it's like, well, wait, we've got two different regions within blocks of each other that are going to put up all of this housing. Do we really need all of that? So I think it's something worth taking initiative on.
Okay.
The second thing I would say on top of that point is, even if it's not necessarily our purview in terms of the geographical location of it all, the fact of the matter remains that if different community boards are having the same issue, if they band together, it's easier to get other people to change their minds about what they're doing. It's easier for us to get to the results that we want, that we think are best for ourselves. As someone who is a former tenant organizer and tried to work against what happened with the Armory on Bedford and I want to say President, you know, a lot of what ended up happening in that situation was support that people from other neighborhoods that had armories wanted to provide to the people who were protesting. The way that deal went down was not heard, was not had, and it ultimately effectively weakened any case that we were trying to make for how that development project should go, right? So it may not be in our area, but it may be to our benefit to start working with other community boards or other community organizations that are saying, hey, they're trying something similar here. We don't necessarily want it to go this way. The last thing I was going to say is I actually was going to bring up City of Yes, so I'm very glad that you brought it up. I think Ms. Frazier, that project for the city is going to have to get everybody talking to everybody. And so we might really want to start thinking about how much outreach we're trying to do and figure out our place in whatever plan this particular mayor tries to conceive. And I think that's going to be especially important because one of the things we might actually want to add as a topic is, what are we going to allow our place to be, or what do we want our place to be in the city's solution to the migrant crisis?
Okay.
Like that's coming for everybody. and we should all be thinking about it now. I think personally, part of being a member or part of being involved in the housing committee is dealing with homelessness. And so this is a thing we're going to have to come to a position on and really work out together.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your input. And I added that topic to the list. Does anyone else have any thoughts? Mr. Eduardo, are you ready to talk? Your hand has been up for a while. Are you able to talk? Okay, I guess we'll come back. Does anyone else has any input on this topic?
Yeah, Yolanda Belcher on the phone.
Yes.
I would just like to add that I'm a bottom line kind of a person, and in order to succeed at a task that you're undertaking, you have to know where to go to get to success. So when I was providing information about the people that actually have the power to help you succeed at your issues and where to go. If you want to succeed at something, you have a goal and you have a plan. If your plan is to talk, that's one thing. But if your goal is to actually have success, then you have to add in there the identity of the agencies that can provide you with success. And so what I was identifying to everybody is that the agencies that can provide success were the land use and our board chairman who has more experience in addressing these matters. That's all I was doing. Now, I may be loud about it, but it's the bottom line. We can talk, and it's good talking, but if your goal is to succeed, then you've got to have a plan to succeed. We succeeded in talking about it, but that didn't get us any further, any closer to success. And I would like to have success because, as you said, this homeless issue affects all of us. So if I want to talk about it, that's fine. But if I want to succeed at having a goal so that it won't be affecting me, then I have to look to where I can go to get that success. That's all.
Thank you, Ms. Belcher. What I will also make sure when I speak to the chair is discuss the possibility of doing resolutions from the committees. So this way they can see what we're thinking and how we feel about it and things of that nature. But first I want to bring the subject up to him again, because I know he got to be refreshed about it as well. And then we can see what the next steps are in that area. What was I going to say? Oh, is there anyone else who wants to chime in on this topic? Jean, and just two more questions, and then we're going to move on to the next person who has something to bring up. You have the floor.
Yes, briefly, Ms. Fields. You see how we're having this community board meeting right now for CB 17? The issue that I feel is that I feel kind of sort of like there's a monkey in the middle type game being played. Would you think it would be in everyone's best interest if both CB 17 and CB 9 were to have a meeting so we could put common minds together to work towards a common resolution?
Yes, yeah, I've been actually doing that. From last year, we've been working with CB9. The only thing is this year, I found out that we have a new chair now. So now I have to introduce myself to the new chair and see if they're willing to continue working with us, because I don't know, what their plan is and what their goal is for the rest of the year. So I just found that out a week or so ago. So as soon as I meet the new chair and see if they're willing to work with us again, because the other chair worked really fine with it. We were doing things together and we had plans, but they switched chairs. So now I got to start all over from the beginning.
Yeah, I think a meeting like this right now that we're doing right now with both CB 17 and CB 9 will work in towards everyone's favor, respectfully, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We did a whole town hall with CB9 and everything on housing. So that was the plan. And actually, this housing series was supposed to be us and CB9. So that's why I'm just talking with you guys now because, like I said, they just placed a new chair there, and I don't know I got to feel the waters to see if they still want to continue working with us because it was supposed to be CB9, CB17, and CB14. And CB14 is still thinking about it because I figured there was power in numbers, combine all three of the CB boards that has to do with Flatbush and the Flatbush area kind of thing. So that's what that was the plan. That was the goal. So we'll see if that can still happen. Okay, I see Renee Loney. You have the floor.
Yes, thank you. I'm in accordance with what a lot of my fellow neighbors are saying. I'm not going to be long-winded because a lot has been said already. It would be beautiful to have all the community boards get together, and because these issues, as pointed out in the Vital Brooklyn Plan and say the City of Yes, it's going to affect everyone. So instead of just sitting and, everybody's speaking, and I want to give everybody a chance to speak, but I don't want to say too much. Other than I'm in accordance with the resistance to what is happening that will affect us adversely. Thank you.
Thank you. So if there's no more on this particular topic, then I believe someone had another topic they wanted to bring up. They had an issue. Was it Michelle? I'm sorry, I didn't keep track of your name. You had an issue going on near your home, renovation issue? Who
Yes,
was it?
sorry, yes. Is that what you're referring to? On 750 Utica Avenue?
Yes, okay, you have the floor.
Yes, sorry. Yes, on 750 Utica Avenue, there was a large car wash slash gas station slash convenience store. It has now been shut down for almost a year. They have built a fence enclosing it, and people still hop over the fence. They graffiti all over the building. They have garbage there. The homeless have left their carts there. And so what this new company, High Point Engineering, wants to do, they want to come in and demo the whole area, including the wall that separates my neighbors and I backyard from the Utica Avenue chaos. And pretty much there's nothing else but that wall. And instead of replacing it with a wall of similar integrity and height, they want to replace it with an 8-foot fence. And I'm assuming similar to the fence that is in the front enclosing it where people are hopping over. And this now leaves us vulnerable to burglars. This leaves my home just vulnerable to all of the rats and rodents that come along with increased construction in the area. Everything literally is going to come right into my backyard. I have no protection. And they're asking that we gain access. We have to sign to give them access so that that is required by the Department of Buildings so that they can build their 13-foot safety zone, quote unquote. And this is a problem for me, a major problem.
Ms. Frazier, what's something that we can do about this to address this? Who are we going to contact to be able to assist her? I'm thinking
we have had this type of complaint made to the office on several occasions. That's an agreement between the neighbor, the homeowner, and the developer or the builder. It's nothing we can do in terms of their agreements. What I can do, because I'm listening to the complaint, I can have the health department go out there and maybe conduct an inspection, violate the owner, whomever that property belongs to, for rodent infestation, the garbage that's there. In terms of the demolition and the signing of an agreement, we've had that issue with several developers in the community. Homeowners have contacted us. We do not get involved because it's a private property. It's a decision that the homeowner has to make, not the community board.
Okay.
I have the
Thank you,
address,
Ms. Fraser.
750 Utica Avenue. I wrote the information down, and I will definitely contact the health department tomorrow morning.
Thank you, Ms. Fraser.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who need to bring an issue to the floor? No? Okay, let's see what else they have. And so we don't have any old business, more old business, any new business. Does anyone want to make a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Can you say your name, please, for the record?
Yolanda Belcher.
And someone wants to second
Yolanda
it?
Belcher.
I will second.
Your name?
Deborah Williams.
Thank you. We have a motion to adjourn. It is now 8:52, and the Housing and Block Association meeting, the first one for this cycle, is adjourned. Thank you so much. I appreciate you showing up, and I will try and do what you call it? Can't even think straight. Run a task that you have put forward for me, and give everyone updates when I can, and take down the CB17 email if you have any questions. That is cb17housingcommittee@gmail.com. And thank you so much, and have a wonderful evening. Have a good night.
Ms. Fields, thank you. We're counting on you and we
Okay.
believe in you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Good night, all.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Yes, Michelle?
Good night.
No.